It's semifinal Saturday in the USL Championship, and for the first time ever, San Antonio FC and RGV FC, South Texas rivals, will meet in the playoffs, a spot in the conference championship on the line. Here's a look at the USL Championship playoff picture. It was chalk in the Eastern Conference last week with the top four seeds advancing. Chaos in the West with the two top seeds, El Paso and Phoenix, both getting knocked out. And we welcome you upstairs to the broadcast booth. The coach, Tim Hankinson, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. San Antonio FC on to the Western Conference semifinals for the second time in their history after a 2-0 victory over San Diego Loyal. It was more arduous for RGV as they eliminated Phoenix in penalties, 4-3. Coach, start with San Antonio, though, a rather methodical 2-0 win last Friday here at Toyota Field over San Diego.
Yeah, you could not have scripted a better game. Getting the clean sheet, getting on the scoreboard. Nathan making that channel run, which he does through the flow of play, but a restart here, perfect serve and a goal. And then Patino, the guy that we lost early in the season, has found his spot. He's the poacher, he's the number 9, and looking to finish. It was just a perfect night for the team.
First playoff win for San Antonio FC since they beat Tulsa Roughnecks back in 2017. RGV FC got their first playoff victory last Saturday night in Phoenix. Elvis Amo with the difference goal in penalties in the 5th round. Coach, these two teams very familiar with one another, although they haven't seen each other since August the 8th, and both teams look very different from the last time one another faced each other.
Yeah, they are very different. I mean, you're going to see tonight a team like RGV sitting back and defending where early in the season you never would have seen that. And you're going to see them counterattack with quick forward passes, which you would not have seen in the first half of the season. They were very much a build-up, build your passes, possession-type team. San Antonio, on the other hand, being at home, is going to look to pressure. They're going to take the game to them, but they also, closer to goal, like the counterattack. Quick movements, quick dribbles, and fantastic play out of guys like Epps and Gallegos and Nathan.
Should be a fun one here tonight. San Antonio FC and RGV FC. South Texas rivals, both coming into the USL in 2016, will meet in the playoffs for the first time. Next.
Go wherever your wild side takes you. Toyota, let's go places.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
Okay, guys, HEB commercial time. Let's hear some ideas.
What about something futuristic? Wow.
Man, I thought these would be cooler.
What's something with puppies? Everyone loves puppies.
I like puppies. What if we started an a cappella group?
Go! Okay. I got it. What about a commercial about us brainstorming for a commercial?
The anthem is in the books. We are set for soccer on this semifinal Saturday in the USL Championship. San Antonio FC second in the Mountain Division, will meet upstart RGV FC Toros, fourth in the Mountain Division this season. As we take a look at starting 11s for both sides, beginning with San Antonio FC. No changes from their starting 11 from last Friday's victory against San Diego. Santiago Patino up top, getting his first goal since May 22nd against Birmingham, and Nathan getting his 12th goal of the season. The goals coming 11 minutes apart in the 2-0 victory. Meanwhile, for RGV FC Toros, they do have one change from their lineup that started the game in Phoenix. Christian Sorto is replaced tonight by Elvis Amo. Sorto is up on international duty with El Salvador, playing in the CONCACAF Octagonal Series right now. So Elvis Amo, who didn't come on until the 89th minute last Saturday night, will be in the starting lineup. But otherwise, everything is the same for Wilmer Cabrera, whose club pulled off the upset of the first weekend in the USL, going to Phoenix and rising their first loss at home this season. As we take a look at the other storyline in tonight's game, Coach, and that would be the fact that you have two keepers who neither really played the bulk of the season for their respective team. In this case, Jordan Farr was not even a member of San Antonio FC, coming from Indy 11, but jumped in to the lineup because of the injury to Matt Cardoni, and on emergency loan from Indy 11, all he did was come up with a clean sheet last Friday night.
For a guest player who walks in, doesn't know the locker room, doesn't know the coach, doesn't know the atmosphere, what to expect, but this guy's played 30 professional games this year for Indy 11, which is in the same quality level of competition as San Antonio plays. So when that ball comes flying through on a cross, or that shot comes flying off a guy's boot, it's not about players in front and whether you know their names. You've got a job to do, make the saves, get the distribution going, and learn along the way.
And on the other side, Colin Miller started only 4 games this season for RGV, filling in for the injured Tyler Derrick, but he made 2 stops in the penalty round, stopping Arturo Rodriguez and Aiden Quinn. Former Big East Keeper of the Year at Providence College will lead RGV tonight as we are underway. San Antonio FC in their home black kits trimmed in the checkered red and white. RGV FC wearing their blue kits tonight trimmed in white and orange. A spot in the Western Conference Championship on the line. It's overtime in the South Texas Derby.
I think you're seeing RGV coming out with a back 4 instead of a back 3. It's the way they played against Phoenix. And you're seeing a little bit of a shape of a diamond created in the midfield, trying to create a numerical advantage.
And Jose Gallegos with the first attempt on net is deflected wide of the keeper. It will be the first corner of the match, awarded by Mark Allison, tonight's center referee, joined by the assistant Justin Howard and Ben Pilgrim. Natalie Simon is our 4th official, as Mohamed Abu scampers over to the near stick to take the corner. Temperature at kickoff tonight, Coach, 59 degrees. The last time these teams met on August the 8th, it was 95 degrees down in Edinburgh. So quite the difference.
Well, refreshing for the players. They'll be able to run all night.
And you expect those temperatures to drop even further as the night goes along, as this ball, as it bounces harmlessly away, first initially whistled a foul inside the area.
I think Tainter went up for that. He's been playing out of his mind recently. Man of the match the last game, making saves off the line and creating assists at the other end. So I know he's pumped, as the rest of the team is.
These clubs split the points this season, meeting 4 times, each side winning 2-1 down in RGV, and both teams playing to 1-1 draws here in San Antonio. They met 3 times over a 5-week span in the first 2 months of the season, then went 2 months before seeing each other in August as a foul whistled on the far side. But it's been more than 3 months since they've seen one another, and both have had much different run of forms to get to this point.
Yeah, I mean, we thought that RGV mid-season had flatlined, and that was over for them. And somehow they kind of recreated how they wanted to play and got their lineup set and ran the last 4 games with victories to get into that 4th playoff spot, and then to be able to upset what is, I think everyone considers, the best team in the USL over the last 3-4 years in Phoenix, and go to penalty kicks like that. Really a phenomenal run. And you know, so much of this, Dan, is about who's peaking at the right time, and I really think we've got a matchup tonight where both teams are peaking at the right time.
Abakar Jai commits the foul here. Jai, who had maybe the goal of the first weekend taking the ball at midfield and making the run to score the opening goal in the 19th minute in Phoenix, but then conceded Solomon Asante's first goal on a set piece just minutes later that leveled that match at 1.
Yeah, his dribbling run, it was like slicing through 4 players and then beating the 5th, which was the goalkeeper. Really a dynamic dribbling exhibition.
No card issued here, but a dangerous set piece opportunity. Marcus Epps over the ball for San Antonio, who scored twice on set pieces, and you figure this is where SAFC perhaps has an advantage over RGV tonight.
Well, you've got Ford and Tainer, 2 big targets in there.
As Epps swings the ball in, deflects, and volleyed over goal.
Yeah, and you've seen Ford. He's got, 2 goals on the season off of corner kicks, set pieces. Nathan finding those spaces in the last game between defenders. And Tainer is just more determined than anyone else to get on the end of those crosses. So good opportunities to be found tonight on free kicks.
Santiago Patino getting the header on that one, putting it over frame as RGV will send it forward upfield. And it's Kyle Edwards who will volley it along, and Jasser Kamiri will bring it down. RGV won their first 3 games of the season, then won 7 of their next 26, had to win their final 3 games just to get to the playoffs, and run the table they did, beating New Mexico in New Mexico, Real Monarchs, and El Paso 4-1, the final game of the season, to just slip into the playoffs as they edged past New Mexico in the top 4 in the Mountain Division. San Antonio FC, 3 consecutive clean sheets here, coach, at home, as they went 0-0 with Austin before blanking Colorado Springs 3-0 on the final Saturday of the season, and then 2-0 last Friday night in the Western Conference quarterfinals over San Diego.
Well, Dan, I think you're absolutely right in saying that RGV, really came through in the clutch, putting together results.
PC! You can hear the roar of the crowd every time San Antonio FC has the ball at their feet. It is a fired-up atmosphere here tonight at Toyota Field.
Yeah, but RGV, really, I don't think I've seen a team make a run like that at the end of the season as they've done. So they're on their game.
RGV went 8 consecutive matches without a loss. Part of that was San Antonio's 2-1 win down at HEB Stadium on the 8th of August. But this is the first time that RGV has seen both Mitchell Tainer and Courtney Ford for San Antonio, and on the other end, it's the first time San Antonio has seen players such as Kyle Edwards and Andres Flores, the veteran El Salvadorian, in the midfield for RGV.
And Flores is quite a talent, as we chatted before the game, as he was a New York Cosmos player in the NASL that I competed against many times. He's quite a playmaker, settling possession player, but high-quality international experience. So RGV's got a great team out there, and Cabeza, who's playing out of the back, very settling distributor that gives them a lot of security as they build up.
Off of Gallegos, he was hoping Azakar got a piece of it. Juan Carlos Azakar with the throw. Coach, he might have had the goal of the season here back on the 29th of May, the bicycle kick in the 89th minute that leveled the match at 1 apiece.
Yeah, he and Lopez coming up this right side are a handful, and they seem to interplay off of each other. One inside, one outside, one outside, one inside. But the combination that they feel for each other is outstanding. And it's going to be a handful for PC and Gallegos. And what you don't want is Gallegos to get so wrapped up in the defending of Azúcar that he withdraws, and it almost looks like he and PC are playing as 2 left backs. So, PC and one of the center backs going to have to come over to give some help so Gallegos can stay a little bit higher and end up making attacking runs in behind Azúcar to make him pay the price for pushing up.
Jordan Farr releasing this one. Farr coming over on emergency loan from Indy 11, made 1 official save in the match last Friday night against San Diego. I was talking with Alan Marcina earlier this week. And Alan, not a keeper by trade, but I asked him how difficult it is for a keeper of all players to come in and try to lead a team in a match where it's win or go home. And he said, as Jose Gallegos gets loose inside the box before being dispossessed of the ball, he said, Jordan not only brought great character and a great attitude, but we kept it simple for him. We kept the options basic. We didn't put more onus or more pressure on him than we had to, and that's why he was able to settle in and do what he needed to do.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a rookie quarterback. Let's dumb down the plays a little bit. But the fact is, as we said in pregame, as far as an experienced goalkeeper with over 30 USL championship games this season, and like I said, when
Maloney, as he gives it a go on frame, and the first save of the match belongs there to Colin Miller.
Yeah, no, he did a great job, and I'm sure this week of training has been special for him because he's gotten to know the guys, and I'm sure they've had meals together and a lot of team meetings to go over things. And it's one of those unique positions that if you're the goalkeeper, that shot is a shot. Doesn't matter whether you know the guys in front of you or not. And as long as you're up to deal with that task, then you're going to have success.
21 starts for Jordan Farr this season at Indy 11. He went 7-11-3 after playing for tiny Corbin University in his hometown of Salem, Oregon. As Maloney comes away with the interception there, Jai runs him off the ball. Babacar Jai, also from a tiny school, North Carolina Wesleyan D3 College. His second career goal coming in the postseason last Friday night in Phoenix was a dandy.
Well, and we talked about our left side with Gallegos and PC, but on the other side, where Jai is always looking to come forward, that's going to be Epps and Maloney trying to make sure that slows down. And again, once Jai comes forward, if Maloney can pick him up, then Epps should be able to, once we run the ball, make runs behind Jai. And if we can feed that into the wide areas, it's going to make that center back situation open up and give us lots of room to get to goal.
Alan Marcina told me that RGV is playing more direct, and almost by necessity, because they were in a position, coach, where they weren't scoring goals. They were giving up too much on the back end. So in flipping the switch over their last 6 wins, all they've done is gone and outscored the opposition 18-7.
So that's work. That's work, I say. But, this is Wilmar Cabrera, who played in the World Cup for Colombia with my former player, Valderrama. He's been an MLS coach at Chivas USA and Houston Dynamo, and this is the second time he's had a run with RGV.
Nathan run off the ball as he hits the deck. We play on. So far, Mark Allerton, center referee, has allowed this to be physical. And you expect a South Texas derby to be physical anyway, but with a spot in the conference championship on the line for the first time for both of these clubs, expect it'll be testy from the start.
It will. This is winner take all. Someone's season is over tonight in the next 75 minutes or so. And so everyone's going to be battling and fighting, and I expect a physical. It's going to be a very important job by this referee to keep control of this, because we've seen games so far that control got away from the referee, and then you're caught in a situation where you're pulling out late in the game, yellow cards, red cards, and it just changes everything. So hopefully he stays on top of it.
That'll be a foul on Kyle Edwards. Now Marcina was hoping for a call on the St. Vincent and Grenadine national, who's been capped 20 times by his national club.
Well, and he had a good game against Phoenix. So he's coming into this as a new starter with confidence. Players having confidence in him.
Scored twice in their season finale win against El Paso. The guy who's been most dangerous for RGV as of late is that man right there, Rodrigo Lopez, who volleys it along. He has scored in each of the last 4 games, equalizing in the 71st minute last Saturday night. A beautiful set-piece goal and a bending ball that the keeper, Andre Rawls, had no chance at. Lopez, in his 17th pro season, at 34 years of age, he's played at all 4 levels of the U.S. Soccer tier system and at the top 2 levels in the Mexican soccer
career.
system.
Just an incredible career.
RGV in possession. Jai, as he'll return. Carter Manley, former first-round pick out of Duke. And up the right flank, Azacar, the Venezuelan. Lopez. And really the first bit of pressure we've seen from RGV, or possession we should say. If you're RGV, you've weathered these first 10 minutes of the match, almost just as important to try to settle in front of a hostile crowd tonight.
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. You can't go down against San Antonio early. This is a game you want to stay in to the very end, but again, we've seen them change their style so much from being a more possession, build-up, let's get in the attack type of team early in the season, to really just sitting back, absorb the opponent, invite the opponent in, and when they have exposure and gaps in the back, is look to win the ball and counterattack. And they've done very well And that, to me, has been the big difference in them suddenly getting into the playoffs and beating a team like Phoenix.
Azakar. Heavy on the touches, Elvis Amo, and trying to work the combination with Rodrigo Lopez, and the ball crosses the touchline. Amo had a hat trick against Miami early in the season, his first year with RGV, coming over from Loudoun United, getting the start in place tonight of Christian Sorto, who's on national team duty with El Salvador. And it was Amo who scored an equalizing goal in the second half of extra time after a penalty was drawn by Vicente Sanchez, and Amo with the ball at his feet. I'll drive forward here with Kyle Edwards. Edge of the box, Edwards, as he's run out there by Courtney Ford.
Great bit of dribbling by Amo to get out of those tight spaces on the side.
And the ball belongs to San Antonio. How even has the South Texas Derby been since 2016? Well, this is the 21st meeting all-time between these clubs. San Antonio has 7 wins against 6 defeats, 7 draws. They are +1 in goal differential, 26-25.
That's insane. You go 32 games and both of you have 52 goals.
As Patino stayed onside, Colin Miller well off his line, able to get rid of it.
I mean, the only stat that is a little bit different is in the number of passes made over the course of the 32 games, that Rio Grande Valley is way ahead, over 3,000 more passes, but that was reflective of the style that they played early on. And now that that style has changed, I would bet that they're very, very close to each other in number of passes made in the counterattack way that they're trying to play now.
For the season, RGV dominated possession against San Antonio, 58-42 over the 4 matches. Early tonight, RGV 62% of the possession. There's a look at Matt Cardone, injured in the final game of the regular season against Colorado Springs with a lower body injury. Came out in the 62nd minute. Carlos Mercado coming on for his first ever USL championship duty to clean up the rest of that match. Jordan Farr has taken the 2 playoff matches so far as Amo inside the box momentarily before coming out. Stays with possession as he attacks on Connor Maloney.
It's great to see Matt on the screen. You know, we always talk about the 12th man being the fans, but I'll tell you, you know that Matt's heart is out there.
Kyle Edwards heads one directly on, and it's Jordan Farr to come up with his first save of the match. Great service by Rodrigo Lopez and a free header inside the box for Kyle Edwards. San Antonio will keep possession. First quarter hour in the books. 0-0 at Toyota Field. San Antonio's second trip to the Western Conference semifinals. They lost in penalties to OKC Energy FC in 2017. Nathan did not get around the wide defender Pimentel on the far side. In the middle of the park, Icasa. Upfield, Kyle Edwards. And Edwards bodied off the ball. And no foul whistle, but possession, unless are they going to come back and call a foul earlier in the sequence against San Antonio, playing the advantage. Let's see how Mark Allerton directs this one.
Yeah, Tainter had the ball on that, just some follow-up with the body, but not the foul that they called.
Yeah, they bring the ball back after initially playing the advantage, and it's the foul that's called prior to. And a set-piece opportunity with Lopez over the ball here for RGV.
These are always challenges because as that ball takes a float over that line of defense, just outside the 6-yard box, almost dropping it on the penalty mark, all of the defenders have to turn and face their goal, which is always a very nervous, dangerous position.
Jasser Kamiri climbs the ladder to get up. That's driven well wide by Azakar, who scored twice against San Antonio this season. Christian Sorto, the man not available tonight, also scored twice against SAFC this year with Juan Kazane, who's not in the 18, getting the 5th goal for RGV this year. As Icasa tries to play the cross and well defended by Connor Maloney. Marcus Epps back on the ball. Epps, a wonderful season for San Antonio. 6 goals in 32 appearances as SAFC able to build up out of the back. Gallegos flicking it along Patino. Santi Patino cutting it back and maintaining, did not go off his hand. Kept alive here by Abu, trying to slip one in for PC, and Azakar will place it out.
A great piece of passing by San Antonio, playing very intelligently. First, the penetrating dribble by Gallegos right down the center and slipping the pass, and then holding up the ball, bringing it back to Epps, trying to split that defense. Just smart play, just excellent passing.
And an injured SAFC, Nathan, I believe, behind the play there, which would obviously be not ideal for San Antonio. Nathan, their leading goal scorer, 12 on the season, and now sitting inside the center circle there.
Well, we certainly have Dylan, who's a big body to play as a target player, and he makes some good channel runs, not as often, not as quick as Nathan, but still has a good nose for goal. So we'll see if Nathan can get back to his feet here.
Well, that's why cup soccer is just so different than the regular season, because you could have an injury, you could have a red card that gets handed out, and all of a sudden the complexion of the game changes, and that's why you can be a Phoenix Rising team that goes and puts 11 wins and scores 40 goals to your opponent's 12 at Wild Horse Pass over the course of the regular season. But all of a sudden, you wind up in a 3-3 match that goes to penalties,
right,
and you find yourself going home after the first weekend of the postseason.
Yeah, that was such a crazy game. I mean, I haven't seen a match like that in a long time, and the way that RGV just stayed at it, they went down in extra time and in overtime and found a way to get a goal just with the last couple of minutes, and then starts the penalty with their keeper making the first two saves and positioning them to win it. So an amazing night for RGV. How much of that motivation, confidence plays in tonight is yet to be seen. But
Nathan's going down the tunnel. The question is whether he'll make a return or not. Right now, San Antonio will play with 10. And we saw Nathan almost motioning for a sub, but see if he can continue or not.
Almost seemed like his ankle maybe had a turn, and the trainers are going to probably see if they can retape it and whether that stabilizes it enough before they make the change. Having said that, the good thing is for a guy like Dylan, if he does have to go in, this gives him more time on a cool night to warm up and get his stretches in to make sure he doesn't pull up early with an injury, getting out there without warming up properly.
That's Jasser Kamiri who gets run off the ball, and he's down on the field. So right now, SAFC only has 9 players on the park that are available to play. Now Nathan has come quickly out of the tunnel. Looks like he's going to come back on here in a second. And finally, we'll get a whistle as Kamiri, who dealt with a season of injuries, before finally in the last third of the year, as Nathan returns to the park and he's okay to continue here, was able to play consistent minutes and stay healthy, and Kamiri gets back up to his feet.
Kamiri looks like he took maybe a knee in his thigh, which basically can just collapse you because it's like hits your nerve and your leg gives out. But inevitably, you get through it. You just have to work through it, which he's doing, and good to see. It's not the first time I've said, well, he's old school, because we've seen a number of times he's gone down during the game and always finds his way back in it.
Azakar. Andres Flores. Flores, who, when we last saw him, was playing in Major League with Portland Timbers.
Right.
As he slips this ball upfield, Kyle Edwards.
Well, and, we've seen this throughout the season where coaches of teams bring in players they've had in the past. The head coach of Portland is, of course, Giovanni Savarisi, who was the coach of the New York Cosmos and brought Flores there and won a championship with the Cosmos. And, of course, that's probably why he's sitting in Portland up to this stage here. Certainly a quality player and a big addition for RGV at this point in the season.
When they were mired in their 8-match winless streak, Wilmer Cabrera just took a look and tried to find some answers. He brought on Flores at the end of August, and then at the beginning of September acquired Emilio Casa on loan from Austin, and also former SAFC striker Frank Lopez on loan from OKC. There's a look at Wilmer Cabrera in his second go-around with RGV. Took them to the playoffs in their inaugural year in 2016 as the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. They were upended by OKC Energy FC, who scored twice. Coach, I don't know if you remember this, twice in second half stoppage time to win a 3-2 match in RGV on the first weekend of the playoffs in 2016.
Incredible.
It's Gallegos. Patino. Can't make the turn cleanly. Pimentel will turn it out.
2016, Dan, I was a little busy. We were coaching Indy 11 and beating the Cosmos that year to win the spring championship, but I'll take your word for it on this one.
And that season was a magical one for RGV. They had 8 consecutive shutouts. 759 minutes was the longest clean sheet record in the USL until this year, when Tampa Bay beat that by about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen at this point. We've already seen top seeds go down, like Phoenix and El Paso, but Tampa certainly on record for their shutout streak.
Gallegos, can he open up? He can! Save! Rebound! It's in! San Antonio's on the board!
Patino doing what he does best. The poacher, Raton, number 9, just waiting for that ball to loosen up inside the 6 and always being in the right place at the right time. Just brilliant.
Santiago Patino getting his 7th goal this season, scoring in the 24th minute after Gallegos able to drive the play and get it on Colin Miller.
Epps is so great at finding the next pass. And you know, we've talked about shots by Epps during the year go hard, low, far post, because a lot of time the keeper can't hold it, and all he can do is open-hand it, and then it leaves that loose ball right in the 6 for that classic number 9 to be waiting for. Great stuff by Patino, great anticipation.
San Antonio FC scored first in the regular season in 19 of their 31 matches. They did not lose when scoring first. They scored last Friday first, and of course the only goals against San Diego. 13-0-6 was the regular season record for SAFC when getting the opening goal. But as we've seen from RGV, particularly as of late, they have not buckled when falling behind.
Now that the comeback kids, this won't detour their ideas. If anything, it'll make them more determined to get that ball forward to equalize before the half. So it's important right now for the next 5-6 minutes is that we defend very well, don't give up anything, stay organized.
Gallegos. Marcus Epps back to the middle of the park, dispossessed, pushed forward by Cabezas. Cabezas will get the return ball back, heavy on the touch as Courtney Ford works it loose. Jai, shadowed by Maloney. Chai, what a turn. And Maloney like down on the park.
Maybe his forearm flung around when he turned like that and caught him across the face a bit. Don't think intentional, just part of the action.
Meanwhile, Flores driving. Azakar, service, and almost more of a shot there for Azakar as he was looking perhaps to the back post. It ended up going wide.
This is some of the things we talked about. I think we're doing a good job with Maloney making Jai worry, and therefore we've not seen Jai make the runs forward so much this first half, so, which is a big benefit for us because that's a handful to have to keep chasing down, and it takes you out of your attacking position. The other matchup I see that's interesting is Azuka is always within 2 steps of Abu. And if you've noticed, Abu has had very little time on the ball centrally. And it almost seems as though he's been told, you stay with him, don't let them play through him at all. Because he switches the play and helps them build their possession. So we can see some of the assignments and the plan for RGV starting to surface here.
Santiago Patino's knack of scoring at about the same time. He scored in the 25th minute last Friday night against San Diego, 24th minute here tonight His goal last Friday was an insurance marker after Nathan opened the scoring in the 14th minute, finishing off a beautiful set-piece service by Mohamed Abu. It's a foul on Marcus Epps. RGV, who has won twice in the regular season when conceding first. They scored first last Friday in Phoenix, Jai in the 19th minute, but then quickly fell behind 2-1 at the beginning of the second half before Rodrigo Lopez was able to equalize in the 71st minute.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating game of seesaw back and forth. And even in the penalties, they did a great job finishing their shots, but also the saves by Miller were just fantastic. These were not poorly hit penalties. They were well hit, and he really guessed well and reacted well and got all of the save.
Afi Casa on the throw to San Antonio, who has been relentless tonight. As Alan Marcinez says, nobody presses like we do, particularly on and especially off the ball. San Antonio FC will run and run and run some more for the duration of the 90 minutes.
Well, and that's been reflective of, you're only able to do that at this point of the year if you've been doing it all year. And we knew from the very start, Coach Marcinez's philosophy was to put pressure at both ends of the park, and that has built the match fitness to be able to press and keep the intensity up over a long period of time.
Amo with the turn, and unable to be kept alive by Maloney, and awarded to the keeper.
It's very rare that you can not be a pressuring team most of the season, and then you get into a game like this and the coach is preaching that week, we're going to pressure them. And that sounds great for the first 5 minutes, but after that, you don't have the fitness to maintain it. You're huffing and puffing. It's not in your tactical style. It's just not in your bloodstream. So, San Antonio, having this philosophy from day one, is in a position to be very aggressive in that regard and know they can maintain it.
A half hour in, 6 shots for San Antonio, just 2 for RGV, 3 of the 6 on target for SAFC. That's a note you always preach, Coach. Get those shots on target.
Yeah. Well, and the stats, for these two teams, they've had, quite a few on target. I haven't seen the numbers recently, but it's gotten better. RGV's maybe a little bit higher in percentage, but that's what it's about, the execution, and same thing with the crosses. Make sure that service is in the box and give your guys a chance for it. That's what I liked about Abu's direct kick in the last game, is he is able to drive a ball on a line. He doesn't try to overbend it, overstate the pass. He just looks to drive a ball on a line, and that is an easy read for strikers to be able to sky up and get on the end of it like Nathan did in that goal off the free kick last week.
They played the advantage after Nathan was making the run upfield, but the foul brought back, and San Antonio will reset here. We expect San Antonio to keep this pressure up. As you were talking about before, they're trained to do just that. But the game had such a frenetic start on both sides that you almost expect to be some sort of settling in the middle portion of the game, as we kind of get to that right now here, hitting the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I think some of that is, great ball. Great first-time touch by PC. I think that naturally takes place as you get through your aerobic cycle and you've been running for the first 25 minutes, and now you start to breathe a little bit heavier, and your sprints are just kind of easing up a bit, staying in the game, but not as explosive. But again, when the adrenaline is pumping with a full house tonight, the crowd is here, it's hard to slow down. And so maybe we see that more affected later in the second half when players start to fatigue and tire. And then it could come down to the benches, A game like this, you look last night at USA Mexico, both teams very frustrated each other, almost in a fight. And then all of a sudden, Pulisic comes in the game, and it diffuses the frustration of the U.S. team, and he goes in with fresh legs and gets that goal, and he changed the entire match. And, who's going to be that guy coming off a bench tonight that can be a difference maker?
Well, the question is that guy on the bench? Because both these sides, as deep as they are, didn't necessarily go to their bench particularly early last week. In fact, for SAFC, they only took 2 players off the bench in the course of the match. And for Wilmer Cabrera, he didn't go to his bench until the 88th minute when he brought in Elvis Amo. And it ended up being a tactical stroke of genius because they ended up playing another half hour and penalties after that. But he let his 11 that were on the field basically play the duration of that match against Phoenix Rising.
Well, I think both teams have settled their lineups in and are going to stay with the guys who got them here. And then just read the moment. Is someone not on their game? Is there a matchup that we can take advantage of? Is there a fatigue factor, an injury factor coming in that would dictate those things? But again, you look at Elmar's group. This is the group who got him here. It surprised me against Phoenix that he didn't start Amo, but he does tonight. So obviously he's got some flexibility in his thinking.
Amo had 11 goals, tied with Nathan for 14th in the Golden Boot race in the championship that was won by Haji Berry. It was 25 goals. Colorado Springs eliminated by Orange County last week. And that is the other match that we'll pay attention to, which will get underway here in about 20 minutes' time. Orange County hosting Oakland Roots, expansion side Oakland Roots, which had the other big surprise victory of the opening weekend, going to El Paso and defeating Locomotive.
Well, and I think they're a team very much with the same story. The journey is RGV. They did not start well this year, Oakland, and actually went through a coaching change midway through the season and has found form at the right time of year. I go back to 1996 in MLS when DC United was a 500 record but squeaked into the playoffs, and they peaked at the right time and went all the way to the final against LA Galaxy to win the very first MLS Cup. So it's about peaking at the right time. And again, as I said, both of these teams we're seeing tonight are both in peak form.
This foul whistled on Edwards. The Orange County, the 2 seed out of the Pacific, hosting the 4 seed out of the Pacific, Oakland, in a California derby. So you ended up with the 2 and 4 seeds out of the respective divisions in the Western Conference moving through into the second round.
Playoffs are playoffs, you know. You just never know what you're going to get.
Cabezas turning it out wide. Rodrigo Lopez switching the play across the field. And it's PC who will climb up and settles over to Gallegos.
Nice cutback pass.
Ball, however, behind Nathan, the runner.
You know, Dan, just playing off what you said is that in MLS days, it was always a home and away format. So often the better team over the course of the season, the top seed, did end up winning the day because they would win all of the tiebreakers eventually by the time the end of that second match had taken place. But in this, when it's a one-game knockout, it's like anybody can come out on top by the end of a one-game matchup.
This foul called on Nathan as it was Cabezas who was climbing the back, tried to get up to this header, and they'll call Nathan for leaning back into Juan David Cabezas, the 30-year-old Colombian, former member of Houston Dynamo.
Yeah, I think you have to make that call just to give Cabeza time to recover from that fall when knocked out of you. But Nathan didn't do anything wrong. He was looking at the ball. He was not looking at his over his shoulder where Cabeza was, and just took a half step back, not with the intent to upend him. So, but I think a good call for the referee to give Cabeza just that moment.
Flores, a little heavy on that touch as Jasser Kamiri with a clearance. San Antonio up 1-0 here as we cross into the 37th minute. Santiago Patino cleaning up the Gallegos rebound in the 24th minute for his 7th goal and 2nd in as many weeks. Good ball from Flores out wide. Rodrigo Lopez. Service that's deflected. Tainer eliminates that one. Lopez. Azakar. Lopez trying to slip it through. Tainer handles that. And volleyed over to Patino. And well done by San Antonio. They'll concede possession, however. Cabezas getting up here, gets chopped down by Nathan, and a foul on Nathan, and on Marcina unhappy with that. Acasa slips one through. Cabezas, the cross. Abu able to eliminate that.
You can see RGV starting to play a little bit quicker. You know, you got 7-8 minutes before the half, and they want to equalize. So things like restarts.
Send it down to the third member of our crew, Hayden Partain, down on the field.
How's it going, boys? Yeah, to Tim's point there, RGV are looking to play quick on every set piece, so SAFC needs to make sure they're paying attention because they were almost able to get the ball in the box there in a dangerous area.
I agree with you. You know, it's like the foul is called. The closest player for San Antonio's got to step on the ball to at least slow down so they can't play quick. Obviously, that can result in yellow cards and things like this, but you don't want to get caught on your back foot or switching off for that moment where they can take advantage of you.
Physical game so far. Nobody has gone into the books yet of Mark Allitson to this point. Shoulder to shoulder between Lopez and PC. And PC drives that one out, and a throw awarded to RGV. PC, we know the importance of him in the lineup. San Antonio went 11-3-4 in the matches that PC played, 3-5-6 in the 14 that he missed this season.
Yeah, it says it all, doesn't it? Leader, captain, just has really been a great player for the team this year and can play in different roles, can either be more offensive or more defensive, and as I've said before, he kind of is he's the ticker. He's the tempo guy that decides, are we playing fast? Are we slowing it down? Showing the composure. And also the guy, how are we going to close out matches? If this one goal lead stands up and you get into that final 15 minutes, he's the guy you need out there to know how to close out the game and make sure that you walk away with the final result.
Pimentel, long-time Mexican League player. Jai coming back for the ball, going backwards to Colin Miller. San Antonio will take that all day. Carter Manley trying to stretch it out upfield. And Connor Maloney over Andres Flores.
Great challenge, very aggressive.
Here's Jai. And Abel again with a turnaround. Nathan this time as it opens up for Icasa. And they'll switch across here now. Manley. Azakar. Lopez. Can't find a runner down into the corner. And Kamiri. Upfield, Gallegos. Volleyed back by RGV before settled by PC. He was looking for Santi Patino to make the run there, not to be had.
Yeah, it's not Patino's first instinct to make the run. That's really Nathan's forte, but a great look and pass by PC to see that channel opening. That's called playmaking. Just the rest of the guys got to get it.
Kyle Edwards pressured there by Epps. Again, RGV as they continue to build possession here over these last few minutes of this opening half. Azakar. Lopez tried to slip that ball through, and it was broken up by Abu. Gallegos, ice ball back to Abu. Ahead, Patino. He's got a little bit of daylight. Corner of the box, gives it a go, and that's blocked outside the area. Flicks it back along. Maloney! And the ball stays out of the goal, and it'll be awarded to Colin Miller.
Pretty strong contact there on Miller, but no ill intent. He had a bit of a push behind him.
I was going to say more of the pressure and the push from Icasa.
Should have been a penalty.
We continue along.
Man, why don't we have a whistle up here?
Because it would never stop blowing. Lopez. Rodrigo Lopez, 34-year-old upfield. Flicked along. PC turns it back. Cabezas settles. Azakar. Lopez. Kyle Edwards turning around Tainer. Edwards cutting back to the inside. Good switch over to Jai, who's got some daylight. Corner of the box. Jai inside the 18. Jai can't make the final touch. Almost too many dribbles there for Jai and a little indecisive.
You said it exactly right, Dan. Is just too many. He needs to wind up and hit that shot past defenders or make a major cut inside and go to his right foot for the far post. And he just, too many touches.
That will be our first caution of the night as Cabezas goes into the books of Mark Allerton as he upends Nathan, who's had a rough first half, trying to stay on his feet, unfortunately.
And I feel like this could be a little bit of payback for by Cabezas on Nathan, because Nathan's the one who had undercut him to make him take that spill. So, I mean, this is just professional fouls that exist in the game, and maybe no consciousness of it, but in my book, very likely that he was just letting Nathan know that he's not going to tolerate that undercut stuff. And this is what it feels like, so watch your steps.
Cabezas into the books in the 43rd minute. And Nathan, who had to come off earlier to get his ankle taped up and quickly came back out of the tunnel again down on the pitch here. Alan Marcina looking on. San Antonio, though, up a goal here, the tail end of the opening half.
It's a tough one for Cabeza at this point in the game, because with so much time, having a yellow, being a center back or a defensive midfielder, you're a tackler, you're a disruptor. You're there to defuse San Antonio's attack. And so he's going to find himself, when guys like Gallegos come running right down the middle, having to deal with that, and he'll have to work very hard or very softly to keep himself on the park.
Well, Santiago Patino hadn't scored since May 22nd after missing several games with a stress fracture of his left foot, but he's got goals in back-to-back weeks. That was last Friday against San Diego in the 25th minute, and tonight in the 24th minute, picking up the Gallegos mess.
Well, you go back to the first 3 games of the season, 3 goals in the first game, consecutive goals in the next 2. You know, he was looking like this is going to be the gold boot guy, not just for the team, but for the league, and then had such a setback. To see him find form again at this point in the season is just miraculous. It gives you hope that this team could go all the way with that kind of rhythm in the scoring column.
That'll be a foul on Edwards, trying to pick up the run there of Amo, and Edwards will be shown a yellow here as well. Coming in the 45th minute, so Edwards sitting on a yellow, Cabezas sitting on a yellow here at the end of the first half. As we'll get 3 minutes of added time here at the end of the opening 45.
Nice heel pass. But again, Edwards coming in with the forearm to go for the body and not the ball. But this limits RGV's options. You know, losing a guy like Sorto, who has had goals in the last couple of matches, and having to use Amo out there who came off the bench, you just limit your weapons. So as we talked about before, it's almost like you got to go with the guys that are here right now.
Well, especially only down 1, I feel as if RGV will maximize this lineup as much as they can, even if it takes them to the full 90 at this point.
I agree with you. And you know, the other thing, Dan, this is from a spirit of the team, a locker room, how a team feels about each other, is if you, in a game like this, start taking out guys left and right, and you don't get the result, a coach can lose the ear of his players because they feel he lost trust in them, he lost faith in them. So if you stay with this group in RGV, and you have good moments and it doesn't work out, your ability to keep a core group together and try and build the roster a little bit stronger for next year means you've got everyone still buying in, still very much emotionally tied in to the direction the coach wants to take them. And so you have to be very careful about that fragility in a team's personality.
Good challenge moment ago from Abu on Elvis Amo. Meanwhile, The service in by Lopez doesn't get through, but Lopez able to come back on the ball here in the final minute of opening half stoppage time. Here's Jai. Out wide, Amo. Overlapping run for Ikasa, but the ball never came to him. Jai settles. RGV hasn't had really a good look at the goal in quite some time.
Yeah, San Antonio's, sitting back, playing very compact.
Azakar. Edwards off his back heel, trying to turn it through. He does, but the clearance for San Antonio.
This is where you hate to see the team defending on the 18 where everyone is dropped. And you want your midfielders and forwards to step up and put a little bit more pressure to chase the opponent out of their half.
And that's Courtney Ford, who needs attention down on the field in the San Antonio third of the field. Well, Courtney Ford, coach, if you go back to the end of August, San Antonio FC was sitting with a record of 6-5-6 and 3-2-3, and they bring Courtney Ford, a homegrown product on loan from Colorado Rapids, who hadn't played a match since October of 2018, dealing with 2 different lower body injuries. Him along with Mitchell Tainer completely changed the complexion for San Antonio. They go 8-3-4 in the 15 games since Tainer and Ford joined the back end.
Yeah, up to that point, as you remember, Dan, is the team was very inconsistent at the back and giving up goals, and we didn't have answers. It was when Ford and Tainer came in that solidified things, and the whole season changed.
A collision there at the end of the half between Amo and Abu, but Mark Allerton blows the whistles and blows the first half to a conclusion. So we'll take a look at how the first half just came to an end a moment ago. That collision there between Amo and Mohamed Abu. No foul to either side given. Both players still on the ground. But San Antonio is 45 minutes away from a spot in the conference championship. Santiago Patino's goal has the home side up 1.
Texas is known for many things, yet one of the best kept secrets is where the steaks are hot and so are the slots. Down south along the border outside of Eagle Pass, the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel, the best gaming experience in the Southwest, where getting lucky is more than a feeling, it's a way of life. Book now, LuckyEagleTexas.com.
Hello, this is Cornell with Frost Bank.
Hi there, this is Terry with Frost.
Good evening, this is Franklin.
This is Robert with Frost.
Hello, this is Rosemary with Frost Bank.
Hi, Spurs fans. I'm Jeff Davis. Often the most important move you make after an accident is hiring the right attorney. Making the right call helps ensure the ball is always in your court.
Just recently, we settled a wrongful death case for $6 million for the family of a father killed by a company van.
If you've been in a car or truck wreck, call, text, or message me at 444-4444. Make the right call and call the Fours. We'll come to you during this Spurs game. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner of the San Antonio Spurs.
You can't predict an emergency, but have you thought about planning for one? Like, where's my closest ER? Does it take my insurance? And what is it rated? Is it worth waiting for an emergency to figure things out? At Methodist Healthcare, we've got you covered. All of our ERs provide top quality care with the highest safety standards. Rest assured, your safety is our top priority. Visit sahealth.com/ER to find a location near you.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
There's hit on the line! Oh, and put it in! A magnificent strike! You go down, you come back, and you find a way.
those topics. I mean, yeah, let's talk about
Stop
today. Today, I'm gonna go
Yo,
topics.
roll it down. I am. You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right? What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Yeah, hey, how you gon' feel when I take it? How you gon' feel when I take it? We about action. We about action. Tell me how you gon' feel.
There's hit on the line! Oh, and put it in! A magnificent strike! You go down, you come back, and you find a way.
Tell me how you gon' feel.
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Okay, guys, HEB commercial time. Let's hear some ideas.
What about something futuristic? Wow.
Man, I thought these would be cooler.
What's something with puppies? Everyone loves puppies.
I like puppies. What if we started an a cappella group?
Okay. I got it. What about a commercial about us brainstorming for a commercial?
Here's a steal by Murray.
Reunite with game night with the 2021-22 Spurs ticket membership on sale now.
White. Spurs lead.
Featuring exclusive benefits and guaranteed savings, there's no better way to be a fan.
The big body says hello, fans!
To score yours or learn more, text FAMILY to 210-444-5050 or visit spurs.com/memberships.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Halftime here on semifinal Saturday at Toyota Field. This is game number 3 of 4 on this semifinal Saturday in the USL Championship. San Antonio FC up 1 on Santiago Patino's goal in the 24th minute. The Eastern Conference Final is set. The top seed of the USL remaining, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They knock off Birmingham Legion tonight at Al Lang Stadium 1-0. Louisville City, a 1-0 winner at home over Charlotte Independence. They will meet next weekend in Tampa for the right to go to the USL Championship. And just about to kick off at Champions Stadium in Southern California, Orange County SC hosting expansion side Oakland Roots SC for the right to play the winner of this match here tonight, San Antonio and RGV. Tim rejoins me. We'll take a look at first half highlights and numbers on the other side.
There you go.
Go wherever your wild side takes you. Toyota, let's go places.
Hello. This is Cornell with Frost Bank.
Hi there, this is Terry with Frost.
Good evening, this is Franklin.
This is Robert with Frost.
Hello, this is Rosemary with Frost Bank.
I'd do anything
for you, dear. Anything
for you mean everything to me.
I know that I'd risk everything
For one kiss, everything.
Yes, I do.
Anything.
Is the sweater too much?
Anything for
We welcome you back to Toyota Field. San Antonio FC up 1 of RGV FC Toros in the South Texas Derby playoff edition here. The first of 2 Western Conference semifinals on this semifinal Saturday. With the coach Tim Hankinson, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us this evening. Coach, a first half that I'm sure Alan Marcino will certainly take. You get that first goal here at home in front of a lively crowd, and you put the visitors back on their heels with 45 minutes to play.
Yeah, I mean, RGV is an uphill battle right now, but we noticed in the last 15 minutes how much quicker they started to play. Off the restarts, they were not letting the tempo drop and slow down. They wanted to speed up. And for San Antonio, I noticed that we all started to drop and defend outside our 18, and that means that RGV is getting 62% of the possession in the first half, which is more than they should have, and our midfielders and forwards got to step up, start to chase them back, and then it comes down to shots. I mean, RGV's got 2 shots, 1 on target. That's just not good enough to win a game on the road like this against another top playoff team, so they've got to come out with a whole different approach to the game.
Take a look at the highlights from the first half, and really most of it belonging to San Antonio. Some early chances there. Santiago Patino gets a free header in the box. PC turns one over goal, and then here was the goal. Gallegos doing what he does best, and the poacher there to put it away.
Yeah, Raton did the job, having always that number 9. It's just one of those profiles in the world of football that your 9 has always got to be right at the keeper's feet.
And we'd show you RGV highlights, but to your point, they had 2 shots. They had the 1 header on goal for Kyle Edwards on the service by Rodrigo Lopez. That was it. Very little. Well done by the San Antonio back 3 so far in this one.
I think so. I mean, any chance that RGV has to counter has not turned into scoring opportunities. And I think that has to do with the back 3 and Abu always kind of creating this 3+1 in position to slow down counterattacks. If they do that, they won't get caught with too many players forward and be in a great position to stop RGV from scoring the equalizer.
Here are the numbers from the first 45 minutes of play this evening, and again we show you the shots. They were lopsided to San Antonio, 7-2. You see that possession number is lopsided, but really up until the last 5 minutes the possession was not so meaningful for RGV. They were able to drive a little bit further there from about the 40-minute mark on.
Yeah, I agree with you. None of the possession turned into scoring chances, and a lot of the possession came late in the first half when San Antonio is sitting back defending, giving them time to knock the ball around, but that's not penetrating passes, it's not scoring chances.
Chippy game. You saw 8 fouls to either side, 2 late cautions in the books, but I mean, Mark Allerton, he knows it's a derby match. He's letting them play here for the most part tonight.
He is. It's a physical game, but it's going to get more physical.
Yeah.
And it's going to get more chippy because there's so much on the line. Someone finishes their season tonight, and everyone's going to go down dying for the opportunity to survive this match.
45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go. One of these teams will advance to the Western Conference Finals next week. Will it be San Antonio? Will it be RGV? Second half coming up.
There you go.
Go wherever your wild side takes you. Toyota, let's go places.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
Okay, guys, HEB commercial time. Let's hear some ideas.
What about something futuristic? Wow.
Man, I thought these would be cooler.
Or something with puppies. Everyone loves puppies.
I like puppies. What if we started an a cappella group?
Go! Okay. I got it. What about a commercial about us brainstorming for a commercial?
Second half about to begin from Toyota Field. The teams return to the pitch. 1-0 San Antonio FC with the lead. First trip to the Western Conference semifinals since 2017, and a familiar script, Coach, because I go back to 2017. SAFC got an early goal in the 7th minute from Cesar Elizondo. Led 1-0 at the half, led 1-0 all the way to the 86th minute before Vucic Vojcic scored for OKC to level. Send the game eventually to extra time to penalties, where OKC won. I know nobody on this pitch tonight for SAFC played in that match. But Alan Marcina, you want that second goal here right now.
There's no question. You got to hop on this, come out of the locker room, fire it up, put some pressure on. But this is a team, RGV, that doesn't die. And we saw that against Phoenix. We saw that at the end of the season. They believe that if there's a minute on the clock, anything is possible. So we have to really stay focused and not switch off for even a moment in this second half.
We kick off in the second half with the coach Tim Hankinson, the third member of our team, Hayden Partain, down on the field, and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us. One of these clubs will advance to the round of 4 next weekend, where 2 of the 4 spots have already been punched by the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Louisville City. San Antonio and RGV hoping to join the pack, and Orange County and Oakland have just kicked off tonight at Champion Stadium. Meanwhile, San Antonio will get the first push on the attack with Gallegos running up the left side, and will earn a throw.
Well, if we can get through tonight, going against Oakland or Orange County was a little bit like the excitement of playing against San Diego. These are teams we haven't seen during the year. Same thing with the other conference if you end up getting a matchup against Tampa or Louisville. I mean, these are great teams, great football teams that are top professional sides, as are we. And but it's exciting when you get new opponents versus always seeing the same group that you do in your conference during the course of the year.
If Orange County wins, they will host the winner of San Antonio and RGV next weekend. Should Oakland win and San Antonio wins, if this score holds, San Antonio would host Oakland Roots for the right to play for the USL Cup on November 28th. That ball served in. Miller is down. A chance for Ford, and blocked out of the area.
Both defender and attackers very aggressive there.
And Miller will let this one go by after Tainer climbed the back of his own man, Courtney Ford, there to get the header on.
Yeah, we were talking about Ford earlier, when he and Tainer came in. I mean, Ford had serious knee surgeries. And I'll tell you, it just goes to show that if you did not have the USL Championship or League One, players like that who come off an injury at the major league level would never have a chance to reprove themselves in real matches where there are 3 points or playoffs on the line. And so these leagues have created such a great positive service to players in general who come off injuries. And now for a guy like Ford, he got a chance to show his old club Colorado that he's back, and we're getting the benefit of that.
Ford scored 4 times in 13 matches since coming to San Antonio. Amo gets taken out of the play there by Tainer, as you saw, or by Kamiri rather. And Elvis Amo still down on the field here. 2 cautions were handed out by the center referee Mark Allison in the first half to Juan David Cabezas, and late in the half to Kyle Edwards. It was San Antonio, though, coach, that led the USL in cautions at 94. during the regular season.
Well, and I think over 500 fouls committed. Yeah, we were right up there. And
500 on the dot, in fact, which also led the league.
Well, it's good to be number one. And
Kamari flicks that out. That'll result in the first corner of the evening for RGV after San Antonio had the first three of the night. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, go to selectsportamerica.com. Erased on the service by PC. Maintained by Azakar, who will play it out wide, Rodrigo Lopez.
you can see RGV being very aggressive, challenging 50-50 balls, these services in the air, winning the second ball, and now building another attack coming right back at San Antonio.
Pimentel well up here and run off the ball by Marcus Epps. And Pimentel will slide it out and awarded to Jordan Farr. Well, the best thing about a keeper who hasn't been with this club is you let the guys in front of you do all the work, and you make basically the plays that you need to make. Jordan Farr did that last week against San Diego, and he's doing the exact same thing here tonight. The team in front of him is making it pretty easy for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, when you really get down to when you have a new keeper like that, the one thing that is not communicated well enough or understood is when there is a cross, a service in the box, is the keeper coming out after it as a defender to pick that up, or is he not going to come out?
Epps' shot handled by Miller.
And I think that's the thing, that having time playing together, that a keeper and his defenders understand about each other. And so that could be the only point of confusion, but they've sorted out all the services very well tonight and have had no confusion, so great compliment to how they're working together.
Azakar overlapping for Rodrigo Lopez as he pushes forward. Flanked out wide, Azakar. Lopez and Azakar with a miscommunication. Lopez was expecting Azakar to slip back. Here comes San Antonio quickly countering.
Here's that 3+1 I was talking about.
And Gallegos is upended hard. And no foul? No foul. Wow. Yeah. So Gallegos still down. And RGV will just continue to play here until we get a whistle.
He's fouled. The ball was not played. Gallegos was taken down. He should have a call. And in actuality, it should be a caution as the ball was not played, but Edwards has a caution already. So the referee's not looking for reasons to throw players off the park. His job is to try and keep players on the park, but definitely a foul.
Agreed, and again, I give some credit to the center referee tonight because it's a playoff match and you're letting maybe things go that you don't normally let go in the regular season. That being said, there's still fouls that are still fouls, and this was a pretty clear foul. He's not playing the ball.
Right. Well, the thing I liked what I saw in San Antonio and RGV, they're really keeping good shape with the backs. They know each other like the counter, and by keeping good shape with the back, they're not going to get caught very easily. But you've got to be smart in these situations and not give up unnecessary fouls. There was no fast break going to goal, and there were two defenders on him to deal with him. I think it was a little bit desperate of an attempt by RGV to take him down.
So it's a drop ball awarded back to RGV, and the center referee recalls Gallegos back onto the pitch. Meanwhile, a giveaway by the Toros. Abu. Epps. As Maloney makes the run, Epps looking in Patino's direction. Manley with an errant clearance as it lands back to Connor Maloney. And Epps fouled by Icasa, shoved off the ball. And sets up a potential good-looking set-piece opportunity here for San Antonio.
Yeah, Icasa with his hands like that, pushing off, going to get called every time. Yeah, this is same distance about as a corner kick, but just the angle is so different because again, the defenders have to chase back towards and face their goal. Very difficult to clear from that position.
Abu can't get it over the first line of defense. Gallegos knocked away by Jai, taken back by PC. Balloons this one up ahead. Pimentel. Icasa. Tackled out there by Ford.
Good tackling. Clean, solid. Be a ball winner, not a fouler.
13 minutes in at Champion Stadium. Orange County 0. Oakland Roots 0. Epps.
Look how he gets in and out of there.
Gallegos weaving his way off to the races. PC. Back post. And Manley will turn it out.
Man, such a sprint by PC to get around Gallegos. I don't even know if he knew he was there, but really turned into a great play and great teamwork out that side, overlapping and then getting that cross off. Just wish we had more players in the box. It's one of those things when you see wingers taking off like that, is you have got to, as a teammate, change tempo with him and make sure that you've got those numbers in the box to take advantage.
That drops in front, and it's Patino's got his second, and San Antonio extends the lead to
2. Great goal. Patino is on his game. It's a marksman.
He had 3 goals on opening night against Colorado Springs. He had 5 in the first 3 games. He's got his 3rd in the postseason. San Antonio FC, 35 minutes away from a spot in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, poor defending by RGV. He's amongst 3 players there, but he brings that ball down, and with that first touch off the half volley, finds the back of the net. And you look at him, you look at the excitement. He's got his roar back. This is a Lion right now in the playoffs that's going to keep scoring and keep scoring.
It's the first time RGV has trailed by multiple goals here in the postseason. San Antonio, 4 goals for, 0 against through 3+ halves.
Still a lot of time. You know, this is dangerous moments with a 2-goal lead. If they get one back, now we've got a crazy game going on.
Icasa will track this. Cabezas can't find a seam. Gallegos. And Miller will settle. There's the 2nd goal that San Antonio was looking for, with a cushion now and a 2-goal lead as we push forward to the second half. Crowd on their side.
Well, and you know, with a 2-goal lead, your job is to defend well, stay compact, keep your shape in that midfield third. Don't defend so far back that they're able to get into serving distance. And then offensively, maybe you don't have to counterattack as often. Look to keep the ball more, possess more.
As Connor Maloney down once again, got a collision along the sideline and immediately out for attention. He took the right hand of Jai up in the face.
Yeah. Knowing Maloney, he's such a tough kid. Maybe the most fit guy in the whole league. He should be able to bounce back from this.
Like the forearm of Jai. You know, Epps was signaling elbow. I think more of the forearm there of Jai. You know, this South Texas Derby has given us so many great moments over the years. One of them goes back a few years ago where San Antonio FC was in this position against the Toros, up 2-0 in the final quarter hour, only to see RGV pull out 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of the match and finish level at 2 apiece.
Well, we saw against Phoenix just last week how resilient they are in coming back. And like I said, 2 goals sounds like a a tremendous lead, but if they get one, if they can get within one, then this game changes because it becomes a hectic match with only a 1-goal difference and time starting to tick away. So very important that San Antonio defends well, but also possesses well, knowing that as the clock ticks, RGV is going to have to push up more and more players, take more and more risk, and that will leave the door open maybe for that third goal and a counterattack. But first things first is don't be giving up goals to RGV and let them feel like they can get back in this thing. Better to have them chase your possession.
Checking on Connor Maloney to make sure he's okay. Sam Gleadle came running over just in case. Maloney's a guy you'd like to keep on the park as long as possible. And he'll be waved back on here as
well, Maloney does so much work for Epps, so that Epps does not have to defend as much. And Epps is very capable of defending and is responsible as a player, but when you got a guy like the work rate of Maloney behind you, it frees a guy like Epps up to lean a little bit more into the attack where he can really show his dribbling and playmaking ability. But they also have Lima. I know Lima usually plays the left side, but there's some good options if a player goes down.
PC and Lopez after the ball. It belonged to San Antonio.
And you know, you've said some very positive things about the referee. I notice even on a ball out of bounds like that, where two players are standing very close to each other, referee makes the effort to sprint over and make sure he's in a position to defuse anything. Where versus a referee who stands in his first position at distance, and then something goes wrong and players start to throw a punch, and now you've got a real problem.
Cabezas the giveaway. Epps unable to get on the end of it. But SAFC flying for the ball after that giveaway in the middle of the park by Juan David Cabezas, and another errant ball off the feet of Rodrigo Lopez. And I think that second goal has RGV a little out of sorts right now.
They do. I mean, I would say that with Azúcar and G, these guys have got to be pushing up to give width. And guys like Flores and Lopez.
Nathan slips. Nathan makes it 3! San Antonio in the driver's seat. A half hour away.
Just a brilliant strike. Found his corner. Big instep drive. Hit so cleanly. Keeper had no chance at it. And, you know, here again, talking about the next round, we can start to talk about a little bit with a 3-0 lead. Nathan's hot. Patino's hot. Your defenders on free kicks are hot. I mean, we've got all of the attacking qualities working for us right now.
13th goal of the season for the Brazilian striker, who only had one before coming to San Antonio this year in his time in the Coritiba youth system. But what a magical campaign this 22-year-old has had. 11 goals in the regular season, tying Ever Guzman's single-season record, and now his second in the playoffs. That one might be the backbreaker.
Well, you know, and this even though, again, this is for the weeks after games, but we've talked about it early in the season, you know, trying to keep your best core group together. And I'll tell you, this combination of Patino and Nathan, one being more of a slashing runner, one being more of a poacher, it is just a great combination of styles working together, producing goals. And this is a tandem you got to try and keep together for next year, so that group can grow, because really they've only been together a few games at this point.
It was that moment, coach, of lack of confidence for RGV that allowed San Antonio to capitalize, because up until that point, just down a goal, RGV was still playing like a club they knew that could come back and potentially get a victory on the road here. But after giving up that second goal, hanging their heads even for just a few minutes, you can't do that against San Antonio.
Yeah, puts a dagger in you. I mean, we saw just before halftime, great confidence by RGV, playing restarts quickly as we had talked about. They looked like a team that was going to come into the second half and make a real game of it. But as you say, goals are goals, and they put a dagger in you. And all of a sudden, players start to put their head down and realize the season is coming to an end way faster than expected.
Gallegos get back up to his feet. As another caution was handed out on the far side tackle. The third caution of the game given to RGV. And San Antonio changing the complexion of the game in just a matter of minutes. The foul against Azakar. And it'll force Wilmer Cabrera to go to his bench for the first time tonight as Alexis Cerritos gets ready to come into the match, but we'll be staring at a 3-0 deficit when he comes on.
Cerritos, such a fun name in the professional game here in the States. I mean, his father, so many international matches for El Salvador, and his son that's just entering the game now, again, has represented his country as well. Cerritos, Ronald, his father, so many games for San Jose Earthquake in the early years of Major League Soccer, tremendous wide wing midfielder, winger, and it's fun to see how his son tries to replicate his dad's game.
The 2021 USL Championship playoffs presented by Twin Spires continues with the conference finals coming up on November 20th and 21st. Who will book their ticket to the final? Find out next weekend here on ESPN Plus. And San Antonio FC is 25 minutes away from punching their ticket to the Western Conference Final. 24 minutes in the books in Orange County, where it is 0-0 between Orange County SC and Oakland Roots.
Yeah, that last shot by Edwards of RGV, you could see the desperation. No angle, his body position wasn't right, and he's just swinging at it. No chance to get anywhere near goal. So it's at this point, being in this situation, you got to find composure if you're RGV and try to reconstruct your game and just try to get that first goal.
The 3 goals, coach, are impressive for SAFC, no question about it. What I'm more impressed about is how San Antonio has defended tonight. RGV still has just taken 2 shots total in this match.
Yeah, it's been outstanding. And if you go back into the end of the regular season where we gave up 4 goals in that match, and then the next game we came out and had a clean sheet, and then another clean sheet in the playoff, and now another clean sheet potential, these are the qualities that our championship's built on. So it's great. We're hot. You need a hot attack, need a hot keeper, you need a strong defense, and right now all of those things are working for us.
SAFC finished with 3 clean sheets, including last week in the first round of the playoffs here at Toyota Field. Couldn't break through against Austin Bold, and then the floodgates opened on the final Saturday of the season against Colorado Springs, which earned SAFC the home playoff date against San Diego last Friday night. And they continued with, again, just the methodical performance through all 3 areas of the park in beating San Diego 2-0, and they has continued that here tonight against RGV.
Well, I mean, if you were to ask someone, you know, what makes a great playoff team and what are the ingredients you need to get to a championship or to win the championship.
Cerritos brought down in the box, penalty. It was the turn by Cerritos that got Jasser Kamiri out of position. He shakes his head, but a penalty awarded to RGV.
And a deserved penalty. This is a great turn by Cerritos that puts the defender in a bad spot. Yeah. Couldn't get to the ball and came through the back of the legs.
It was Courtney Ford, not Kamiri, rather. Also, a break finally for the visitors.
Yeah, and that should be a yellow. But an incredible technical turn. I mean, just very mind-blowing in his ability to control that ball and cut it so quickly that it would catch Ford off his mark like that. As the defenders, you want to go tight, but you also have to be always shuffling your feet. Feet have to be moving. So when that player makes his move, you're moving with him. You're not caught flat-footed.
Amo. Including his shot in the penalty round last week. 5 for 5 in penalties.
Well, he knows how to do it.
And he went both ways on both of his penalties last Saturday night. Against Jordan Farr here in the 69th minute. Has to have this one if RGV has a chance. And Amo puts it away. And RGV is on the board as Amo has his 13th goal of the season.
Well, Amo hit it beautifully. A lot of composure. Just a very difficult penalty to have to guess and save. So now it starts to get interesting again.
20 minutes. And so that should at least lift the spirits of RGV as they get set to make a second substitute here momentarily.
And this is what they did against Phoenix. They start to make those changes and the performance starts to change and lift.
That'll be a foul on Abu and a set piece from a dangerous spot where not close enough, I don't think, for Rodrigo Lopez to go for goal here, but in a close vicinity as Lopez will come over the ball.
Yeah, it's too bad Abu takes him down because Maloney was between the attacker and goal. Really not a need to take the player down on that particular spot when you have a defender in a position to pick up the defensive work and let Abu recover in behind him. But it is what it is, and that ball will be dropped right over that line. And again, as we've said a few times tonight, very challenging for the defenders to have to sprint back and face their own goal and find a way to clear it.
Kyle Edwards off. Vicente Sanchez, who will turn 42, coach, in 34 days, will come on here for the final 20.
Yeah, he played for when the coach Cabrera was at Houston Dynamo.
Lopez can't bend this one in.
He was brought in as a player for them, and then went in retirement for...
Back drops!
Oh.
Courtney Ford able to just step in front of Icasa. Sanchez, first touch. Off Maloney, and a throw to RGV. San Antonio now in a position to defend, where they've done such a great job all night. RGV just a little bit of momentum here after the penalty from Amo.
As I was saying, though, Sanchez, a big star in Mexico, played for Houston Dynamo for Coach Cabrera of RGV when he was coaching in a major league.
Azacar! Over Sanchez, who was even at 41, and up that left foot there.
And then he retired for a year. But when Coach took over RGV, brought him back in, has been using him off the bench as that experienced go-to guy to help pick up the troops and bring in ideas.
2 goals in 29 appearances for the 41-year-old Ecuadorian. Ball just nearly ended up at the feet of a wide-open Emilio Icasa. Cabezas. Icasa. Out wide, Rodrigo Lopez. Maloney able to get a piece of that. Heads it forward. Jai settles. Patino steps in front. Jai able to recover. The turn made by Cerritos. Turned out there by Abu, and Cerritos might have stepped on Abu there, the way he's reacting. As Abu is now down on the pitch, and I don't think intentional from Cerritos, who's checking himself on Mohamed Abu, and we'll see if that's what happened. Did Cerritos turn and step on Abu? He did right there. Back onto that right ankle, just the one area where you don't have that much protection above the cleat.
Yeah. We also saw a substitution made where Patino came out and Glito came in.
And PC, I think, was just shown yellow as Connor Maloney had to push him away. Sam Glito coming on for Patino, to your point, Coach. Patino leaves with a brace.
And Glito, very fit, fast, quick guy, very determined player to do the work to get him through this. But what concerns me is PC picking up an unnecessary card like that, because I believe that's 2 in the playoffs for him so far. And I'd have to check the rule book, but it could be that 3 cards you have to sit a game. So something for our our media people to help advise us on.
As Abu gets attention as we inch ever so closely to the final quarter hour. A little bit of life for the visitors after Amo scores his 13th goal of the season on the penalty.
Well, whether RGV can come back from this deficit or not, they're certainly showing that they're not going down easily, and they're gonna fight to the very end, which means we've got to be up for it and be smart about our play, smart about our tackles, defend as a group so we don't get into too many one-on-one situations.
Sam Gleadle coming on, who made 22 appearances in his first year with San Antonio. Began primarily as a starter, then you remember Coach suffered a hamstring injury in August, which forced him from the lineup for 9 games.
Yeah.
It was only towards the beginning of October that Gleadle was able to get back into form and become an important piece coming off the bench here.
Right, and Coach Marcinez made a move we've seen him do almost every game, which is where a player like Gleadle comes into the wide position and PC that allows him the freedom to slide inside to the defensive midfield. So they're playing a double pivot to Abu and PC, and that gives a lot more flexibility for one of them to leave the center and go chase to deal with a problem where the other one is sitting in there holding that front zone in front of the defenders.
Picasso, the in-swinger. Deep ball to the back post over everybody and awarded to Jordan Farr. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You can hear live action from the USL, Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the SXM app.
And Dan, for the fans, if they've never listened to Ray Hudson narrate a game, nobody in the history of this game has had better one-liners. He is just so entertaining, but so spot on.
Cerritos a giveaway. Nathan gives it right back, and Sanchez to the pitch. Jai trying to play it along. Cabezas.
You can see the aggressiveness around the ball now. Players scrapping, trying to get their foot in, poking it away. Anything to disrupt the opponent and win the ball back.
Pimentel switching the play to Manley.
And our group is looking like a back five at this point, with Maloney and Gleadle on the outsides, and then our back three. Again, the double pivot with Abu and PC centrally.
Sanchez still can move well at 41. And will earn him, no, thought he earned a corner. It ended up dribbling off him. Well defended by Connor Maloney.
And Maloney fist pumping that one, getting the fans into it. And we've got another player down. Who is that, Sensor?
Would be Tainer that's down inside the box, and PC coming over to take a look along with Kamiri. Gallegos stretched out over on the far side momentarily.
It looks like he's dealing with calves and cramps. Let's see what Tainer's got.
Whether it's 95, whether it's 55, you still get cramps.
Cramps are cramps, man. You play as hard as these guys, they're going to be cramps. So
Aiden Partain was telling us before the game that he loved playing in these conditions when it's crisp outside. Said he'd be a little extra aggressive.
Well, you know, as fans don't understand that as the sport developed in the Northeast, a good soccer day for fans in a game was a little bit of light snow, a little bit of frost on the grass, or rain and mud. I mean, that was good soccer weather. We've gotten a little bit spoiled by only expecting to play when it's sunshine, but chilly weather like this keeps the legs going and keeps your endurance going. So
The scenes of a rocking Toyota Field, which has been the site of all 5 of San Antonio FC's playoff matches in their history since 2017. Amazing how that's worked out. Could potentially they get a 6th.
That would be miraculous.
If Oakland Roots can pull an upset on the road tonight.
Well, and you know, if it turns out that Orange County wins their game and we have to travel, even though it's our first away playoff game, our record this year on the road, Dan, was phenomenal. And so the confidence this team has and the know-how it has that it can win on the road gives them a great chance to create the upset as the road team.
7 wins against 5 defeats, 4 draws on the road this season for San Antonio FC with a positive goal differential. 23 for, 22 against. Got to see this one through though. Gallegos. And defended out by Manley for a corner for San Antonio. Will be their 4th corner of the evening.
I think this is the best I've seen San Antonio when it comes to breaking with 2 or 3 players and getting the ball off your feet at the right moment rather than carrying it into defenders that too often in the past have been a loss of possession. So Gallegos outstanding tonight, Epps and others have done a great job that way. Really frees up the open man and also encourages teammates to break with it, knowing that they could get that pass and be the recipient of a dangerous shot.
Abu, low ball. Azakar plays it out. It's Ikaza. We'll get on the end of it. Gallegos fired up as he defends that one out. Ikaza goes quickly. Amo slips through the crowd. He'll turn it out wide. Lopez. Azakar. Gleedle defends. Azakar service in. Tainer eliminates that one. And that has been just about every cross tonight for RGV.
Well, and they're a team that has built many chances off crosses. But Tainer and the back 3 just in general have had their marks, but always letting the defender closest to the ball not worry about mark. So they're in a position to zonally cut that ball out, attack the ball, while others deal with the man-to-man marking.
Very little on the run of play tonight. You can start to see fans have, on their own, taken out their phones and have lit up Toyota Field for these final 10 minutes. Meanwhile, it's Ikaza. Azakar.
Yeah, I think it feels like we're at a Rolling Stone concert.
And it may sound like a Rolling Stone concert in about 10 minutes if San Antonio can see this one through. Here's Nathan as he runs with Pimentel running backwards. Nathan stood up by Pimentel, and play on, says the referee.
Yeah, I don't think a foul on that. The player timed stepping in front of the run and got between the ball and the runner just at the right moment.
Jai. Cerritos settles. Pushed down by Maloney. San Antonio continues through the wickets there of Abu. Able to maintain possession. PC will play it out wide to Gleedle. Abu. Amo. Azakar. Lopez. Ikaza now out on the right side. Lopez flicks this one forward. Amo brings it down. Ikaza, just a little bit of room. Clearance from Courtney Ford. Drops down to Cerritos. Trying to open up instead to Jai. Jai! Defended out. Look at the body sacrifice from Mitchell Tainer inside the box.
Yeah, he gives it all. He absolutely gives it all. Just tremendous defending.
Ball ended up going off of RGV, so San Antonio the throw. And a foul against the visitors. Courtney Ford is laid out.
You know, Dan, when we talk to players about playmaking, everyone automatically switches to, they're thinking attack. But playmaking is also on the defensive side. You got to be able to step to block shots, make tackles, clear balls, and Tainer, the last 2 games, been phenomenal as a playmaker back there.
Far, shown a yellow for stalling. Second yellow tonight to San Antonio.
Well, we said before, you get in that final 10-15 minutes knowing how to close out matches, and nothing wrong with what he just did to kill the game a little bit, because RGV is trying to build momentum, and anything they can do to slow the clock down and stop the play is going to help them finish this match off.
Meanwhile, RGV had possession of the ball. The play is blown dead, though, with PC down inside the RGV box. And both sides starting to vent their frustration a little bit about how this match has been officiated.
Yeah, that's a pure body block on PC. The player wasn't even looking at the ball or playing the ball. And that's actually a body block that potentially is inside the 18 and could easily be a penalty. So if PC doesn't get a correct call out of that, very disappointing, because that's just playing the man completely without any intent to play the ball.
PC's got to be careful, and he doesn't say anything that gets him a second yellow, as he'll come off.
Well, body shots like that shake you up, you know, knocks the air out of you, shakes that brain up. I mean, but he's not going to let go of this match. We know that. He's one of the toughest guys we've got on the park. And just as I was talking about Patino and Nathan being a great partnership style-wise, PC and Abu have become the same. And if you go back to the old Manchester United days with Roy Keane and Scholes playing in that double pivot in the center of the midfield, they kind of represent those style marks in what they bring to those positions. And it's so hard to break that down.
Settled by Kamiri and cleared out. It was dangerous there momentarily. Kamiri took it well. Pimentel. Azakar. Drives it into 114.
Yeah, you know, I think that, Dan, some of the problems with RGV is not enough of their starters and important players have made plays tonight. Like Azuka right there, getting his first shot probably of the game. Where was that in the first half? Where was that coming out of the locker room? Flores, a very experienced player. You know, these guys really have not, I mean, G has stayed back all night. So whatever the plan was to make him worry more about San Antonio has worked, because even Azúcar has not, with Lopez, been able to break down that side consistently enough to turn into chances. So the playmaking hasn't been there for them, and I think as they look at their future roster, they're going to have to take a look at is this group a playoff group? Is it someone who can break through and win in the playoffs? Because if you don't have playmakers on playoff night, you're just not going to get to a final.
They were 8-4-4 on the 4th of August, sitting in a good position at the top half of the Mountain Division, then suffered through an 8-match winless streak, did RGV, going 0-5-3 through the 18th of September, but then closed out 5-2-1 and winners in their last 3 to make the playoffs for a second time in their 6-year history, but staring at a 2-goal deficit with time winding down on their 2021 campaign.
And Dan, just to follow my comments about RGV not having playmakers, I look at the performance of the San Antonio players and the performances of Nathan and Patino making big plays in the box, getting goals. And I look at Abu and PC, what they've done tonight. And then you go to the back 3, and they have been spot on in defending individually and as a group. So I feel like we've had playmakers all over the park. Gallegos and Epps been outstanding tonight. So I'm really hoping that we can continue to nurture this group and build on it in the future, because they've been tremendous on this evening.
Lopez, Cerritos, Cerritos, and handled well by Jordan Farr.
Jordan Farr's done well. I remember getting a lot of texts from fans in Indianapolis who followed him last season. There are a lot of Indy people watching the last game and this game. So we don't just have our San Antonio fans, we've got them from all over.
Connor Maloney. Cerritos trying to run him off the ball. He does. We play on. Cabezas switching the play. Rodrigo Lopez has not had the impact on the playmaking side that I'm sure Wilmer Cabrera was hoping for here tonight.
No, we haven't seen it. And that's, like I said, been the case with so many of their starters.
Into the 90th minute.
And that's not saying they haven't played hard and with determination. It's
the will of San Antonio has been outstanding tonight.
It has. And San Antonio has not let up on that. Sometimes you see a team that for 60 minutes will employ their will on you and then let up. And San Antonio has done a great job in keeping the pressure on.
Final two substitutes of the night will be Adrian Dispay. This will come on for Azakar. And John Henry Sanchez. This will come on for Rodrigo Lopez. Dispay is 6'4" and simply in there to try to get ahead on something, and it gets in the box. John Henry Sanchez is someone who can give you service from the wings. And you see Dispay, it's an imposing figure at that 6'4".
Big man. I'm sure you'll see a couple of dives trying to draw off fouls anywhere within 30 yards of the box. Give him a chance at it.
A healthy 7 minutes of added time here at the end of the second half.
That's like an overtime.
That's off of Abu. No, it is not off of Abu. It's off of Ikaza. And a throw to San Antonio. So the fans will have to wait simply a few extra minutes before they can erupt tonight at Toyota Field. SAFC joined the USL Championship in 2016, the same year as RGV. 2017 was a trip to the Western Conference semifinals, but a loss in penalties to OKC Energy FC. It took until the 2020 campaign for a return to the playoffs, so they were eliminated here at home 1-0 in added extra time by Chris Weehan's goal for New Mexico United in the 101st minute. But they are 6 minutes away from playing for a potential spot in the USL Championship at the end of this month.
Yeah, Ford had a great tackle there just a moment ago, and then took a step up with the ball and drove a diagonal ball into space on the other side of the field. But we didn't have anyone, and this is where composure, great tackle, but then composure. Take a breath, keep possession, and otherwise we're back defending again.
Halftime at Champion Stadium in Orange County, 0-0. Orange County, Oakland Roots. Keep tabs on the USL Championship app and USLChampionship.com for the final of that one.
And like I said, the work of the midfielders here, very important. Well done by Epps. Keep the pressure closer to the halfway line rather than backing up, which gives them distance to serve in the box for the big man. So this is where, again, Epps has got to step up a bit. PC, get some pressure out of Nathan from the striker, at least to force it to one side so the game becomes more predictable and we're not chasing so much.
Cerritos. Ford pushing him to the outside, off of Cerritos. The ball awarded to Jordan Farr.
And again, credit to the referee when he sees two players starting to look like they're confronting each other, sprinting between them rather than standing off of them and letting that escalate. It's a great way to defuse things, and he's doing a good job. He's let the game go, but he hasn't let it get out of hand. So he's done well tonight.
San Antonio FC locked in here in these closing minutes. We've mentioned the back three all night. It's a collective effort from all 10 out in front of Jordan Farr. And it has been that way since the opening kick tonight. San Antonio was ready to play, came out with the pressure and their style. Scored early in the first half, did not relent, scored a second as Epps is upended here in front of Alan Marcina. And it was a 6-minute stretch between the 55th and 61st minute where SAFC was able to flex their muscles. Patino poaching on a ball inside the box for a second goal, and then Nathan finishing off a tremendous run with his second goal of these playoffs. And that has SAFC less than 4 minutes away from a trip to the Conference Championship for the first time in their history.
And you can see Abu didn't even try to serve it in the box for a goal chance. This was more about just put the ball in play. It's backfired a bit in that we gave it away too early. The possession again. You've got to get all of your players working to keep the ball at this point, so you're not in a position where you're having to defend so much.
Tainer drive that one out after a brief lapse defensively inside the box. No damage done. And again, Mitchell Tainer anchoring that back line, one of the best communicators on that back three for San Antonio. Jai. Cerritos the turn. Looking for service. Sends one to the back post, looking for Dispay. Lands to the far side. Sanchez drives it off Gleedle on a throw. And every time San Antonio gets a block, gets a tackle, or something that goes their way, they erupt and the crowd erupts in approval.
Yeah, we haven't seen the crowd this excited, and what a great time of year to be this excited. It's been a great performance tonight and throughout the playoffs.
A standing ovation for Nathan, the club's leading scorer, as he comes off for Justin Dillon. He's got his 13th goal this season tonight, and it was a big one in the 61st minute that pretty much sealed the fate of this match.
Well, and I respect the fact that Coach Marcina gets Dillon in, still an important player that's produced goals this year. And as much as Nathan's played brilliantly, clearly Dillon is one you want to keep excited, and get a taste of a match like tonight is very important into his motivation in the training week as he looks to fight for more minutes into the picture next weekend.
A foul. Dispay tried to maneuver away behind him. Cabezas commits the infraction into the final minute of stoppage time. And RGV starting to accept the inevitable. A tremendous season for Wilmer Cabrera's club in their return to the USL playoffs for the first time since 2016. Continuing the relationship with Houston Dynamo, but taking back some of the independence from the soccer side of things to build a club that would be competitive, that would fight for a playoff spot after 4 years of languishing at the bottom of the Western Conference. This RGV club certainly gave Edinburgh a lot to cheer for, as long as the rest of the Valley, with Marcus Epps now at the top of the 18, unable to pull the trigger. But RGV, which pulled the upset of the postseason last week, will see the Cinderella story come to an end tonight. For the first time in their history, San Antonio FC is moving on into the round of 4. They're in the Western Conference Championship next weekend after a 3-1 win tonight in the South Texas Derby.
The team is on their game, there's no question about it. Working at both ends, defensively and offensively. They know themselves, they're confident, they're excited, they're pumped up, the fans are pumped up. This is going to be a great, great next stage of the playoffs. Can't wait to see it, and hopefully we can bring it home.
3 of the 4 teams have now punched their ticket to the conference finals. Tampa Bay and Louisville City earlier tonight. San Antonio FC is the 3rd. The 4th will belong to either Orange County or Oakland. If it's Oakland, we'll be right back here next weekend for the Western Conference Final. If it's Orange County, San Antonio will hit the road for the first time in their playoff history to Champion Stadium next weekend to play for a spot in the USL Cup Final.
Dan, we can't make this our last broadcast together. Let's make sure we get back here next week. It's too exciting.
It's out of our control, but I'm with you. As Alan Marcina celebrates and goes over to Rodrigo Lopez for a word of encouragement. Santiago Patino, 2 goals tonight in the 24th and 55th minute as he gets the game winner. Nathan's 13th of the year in the 61st minute seals the deal as San Antonio FC is moving on. And RGV FC sees their season come to an end. Orange County and Oakland will determine where San Antonio advances to the next round. They are in the Western Conference Final thanks to Santiago Patino and Nathan's tallies tonight. A tremendous performance by the collective effort as a group. 3-1 the final. Now, for the coach Tim Hankinson, Hayden Partan, and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the USL Championship. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Conference Finals. Tonight's match between Orange County SC and Oakland Roots SC will determine the opponent and location of